Most people think of milk as one of the most universal foods on the planet. It's in cereal bowls, coffee cups, smoothies, and recipes in every corner of the world. But here's the surprising truth. For most adults on Earth, drinking a full glass of milk would lead to discomfort because the majority of the global population is actually lactose intolerant. And yet, many of us grew up believing that lactose intolerance is unusual. So what's really going on? Lactose intolerance begins with a simple biological fact. Lactose is a sugar found in milk. To digest it, the small intestine produces an enzyme called lactase. Babies make plenty of it because milk is their primary food source. But as humans grow up, something interesting happens. For nearly 70% of the world's population, lactase production naturally drops after childhood. And when lactase is low, lactose isn't fully broken down. It travels to the large intestine, where gut bacteria happily feast on it, producing gas, bloating, and other symptoms many people know all too well. So if lactose intolerance is the global norm, why do so many people assume they're supposed to tolerate dairy? The answer lies in a fascinating twist of human evolution. Thousands of years ago, in certain regions, particularly Northern Europe, parts of East Africa, and the Middle East, communities began domesticating dairy animals. Over generations, some of these populations developed a genetic adaptation that allowed them to keep producing lactase throughout adulthood. This isn't the natural state of humans, it's an exception that became common in areas with long histories of dairy farming. Today, people of Northern European ancestry often have the highest rates of lactose tolerance, while East Asian, Indigenous American, West African, and many Mediterranean populations have much higher rates of intolerance. But numbers only tell part of the story. What's even more interesting is how dramatically attitudes and myths surrounding lactose intolerance differ around the world. In many Western countries, people often feel embarrassed to admit they can't handle dairy, as if it's a personal flaw or a dietary inconvenience. But globally, lactose intolerance isn't unusual at all. It's the default. For most humans, the ability to digest milk in adulthood is what's unusual. Even more surprising is the huge range of ways people navigate lactose intolerance without even thinking about it. In many cultures, dairy is traditionally consumed in fermented forms, like yogurt, kefir, and aged cheeses. Fermentation breaks down much of the lactose naturally, making these foods far easier to digest. That's why someone who can't drink a glass of milk might still enjoy yogurt or parmesan with no issue. Butter contains almost no lactose at all, and ghee contains essentially none. Ice cream, on the other hand, is usually a much bigger challenge. There's also the myth that lactose intolerance is the same thing as a milk allergy. These are completely different issues. Lactose intolerance affects digestion, things like bloating or gas, while a milk allergy involves the immune system and can cause serious reactions. Many people mix the two up, leading to confusion about what dairy products they can safely eat. And here's another misconception. Lactose intolerance doesn't always strike the same way for everyone. Some people have mild symptoms only when they consume a lot of dairy at once. Others can handle certain products, but not others. Some can drink milk if it's paired with a meal. And some don't react until later in the day. It's not a yes or no condition. It's a spectrum. Gut science is also revealing just how much your microbiome plays a role. Certain gut bacteria can actually help digest lactose. If your gut has more of these microbes, you might handle dairy better than someone with the same genetic intolerance. And that explains why some people feel their symptoms change over time. Diet, gut health, illness, antibiotics, and other lifestyle factors all influence how the body responds to lactose. So, what does all of this mean for the average person trying to figure out whether dairy belongs in their diet? It means that lactose intolerance isn't something to be ashamed of. It's not uncommon, it's not unhealthy, and it doesn't mean you have to give up all dairy forever. It simply means your body processes milk differently than others, and that's entirely normal. Your options range from lactose-free milk to fermented dairy, plant-based alternatives, enzyme supplements, or simply choosing the dairy foods that make you feel your best. And maybe the biggest takeaway is this: our bodies are diverse, our genetics are diverse, and our food traditions are even more diverse. Lactose intolerance isn't a flaw. It's a reminder of how humans have adapted in different ways across the globe, influenced by culture, evolution, and what was on the menu thousands of years before any of us were born. So the next time someone says lactose intolerance is rare, or that humans were meant to drink milk, you'll know the real story. Most adults can't digest lactose. Many cultures never relied on milk in the first place, and the ability to drink it without trouble is actually an evolutionary twist. Understanding that doesn't just clear up a health myth. It helps us appreciate the incredible variety in how people around the world eat, grow, and thrive.